Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading. Try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we've got a 9 of Cups. This is superabundance. This is breaking news, right? This is big. This is beautiful. This is everything that you want in life aligning for you. Something you've desired is becoming real. It's not a hypothetical. It's not a wish. It's not a dream anymore. It's living in your life now. This is a 9. It's a verb, right? It's a function. It's a flow. This is something now you're kind of living this happy life. This is emotional abundance and satisfaction. This is something overflowing in your life. This is beautiful. Let's put it into a little bit of context. Let's see if we can name this a little bit. We've got some hermit energy here. We've got a chariot. We got 4 of Cups. Yeah, okay. We've got a 9 of Wands. We've got a Knight of Swords. Here we have the Queen of Wands. We have an 8 of Cups. We have a 10 of Wands. And we have a Hierophant. Okay, interesting. Yeah, with the 4 and with the 8, I feel like you're not settling. You're not somebody that's going to just take like low-hanging fruit or like just kind of settle for something less than what you actually want. Okay? I think that you have this ability to step away from anything that's draining your energy away. You're strong and independent. I feel like that's a big part of this for you. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown, and we're going to set it down right here with our Tibetan prayer wheel right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction in the comments right below the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see 1, 2, 3 majors. Okay. We've got fire, fire, fire. We've got water and water and water. A little bit of air. Okay, a little bit of air. But see, the air is very important because it's right here at the very middle, very center of the tarot table. Okay, this is the point, this is the axis mundi, this is the galactic center, around which everything else is swirling. So it's this decision that really needs to be made. It's about whether or not you're letting in this good stuff or whether you're going to kind of stay in the storm cellar of the 4 of Cups, okay? We also don't have any earth energy because this is really about the emotions. Okay, it's about the feelings. This is about you really believing and trusting in something. And, it's something that something's entering your life. Let me just bring up this 9 of Cups here. Something is entering your life that is truly aligned with you. Okay? And it's going to be so good that you're going to be willing to give up your solitude or give up your you're going to be willing to let it in the door, basically. You know what I mean? You're going to be willing to come out of hermit mode and unite with it. I was going to say willing to give up your independence, but that's not exactly what I mean. Because the Queen of Wands is very independent and saying, I'm not gonna join up with anything unless it is absolutely perfect and right for me. You're comfortable being by yourself. You're comfortable without, without anything. If you're going to allow something in your life, it's got to be aces. It's got to be right. It's got to be, you're not going to just let any old thing in. Okay? You don't need anything that desperately. Okay? So if it's not for you, I'm not going to open the door. So if this really is what I think it is, then this is real. You got to let it in. This is something that's so perfectly aligned with you that you're going to say, okay, this is something I'll open my door for. Anything less than the best, keeping the door closed. This is the moment to receive fully this pleasure. Okay? To believe in it. To not you're not braced waiting for it to leave again. It's not like you're just kind of you don't want to let it in because it's going to disappear. No, this is something that's real. It's flowing into your life. It's fulfillment. It's satisfaction. It's enjoyment. This is earned happiness. It's not luck. It's not fake. It's not going to be taken away from you at any moment. It is real. This is you inviting love and joy into your home and letting it stay. And it's deepening. It's becoming peace. It's becoming real connection. It's becoming family. It's it's like happiness is moving in and it's going to take the spare bedroom and it's never moving out. But this kind of pleasure requires your permission. You have to believe that you are allowed to have a life that feels good. This is you living the life you desire. This is you letting yourself feel good. This isn't a distraction from your path. This is the path when the path is working. That's why we have a hermit. Because you're just saying, I'm on my path in life. You got your cloak of invisibility. You're standing on your own path. You're standing in your own energy with your own presence. And however this is showing up, if this is a person, if this is a place, if this is just a feeling that your life is on track right now perfectly, maybe it's financial stuff, I don't know. I feel like it's the emotional, it's your emotional response to the path you're on right now. And it feels good. It feels like you are pursuing happiness. It feels like you are letting love in. It feels like you're following your bliss. Okay? And it feels real. And with that hermit, it feels like this is what you've been sort of searching for. And the hermit is this solitude, The hermit is kind of like, I don't need anything. You got your cloak of invisibility. You're not trying to hear the noise. You're not trying to get entangled in any nonsense. Okay? What I feel like is that with the Four of Cups back here, that we sort of got into the storm cellar. We kind of got into hermit mode because we went through a rocky situation, a rocky relationship, or whatever it may have been. It could be with a job, it could be with a friend, it could be a family member, or even a romantic partner. But there was some rocky stuff, and so we're kind of hermit mode. We're protecting our energy. We've got our armor on. We're not letting anybody in the door. We got the front door shut and locked. But I think something's coming in now that you're going to invite in. Whether it's a new person, whether it is, letting yourself feel happy again. Sometimes when we're in that Four of Cups hermit mode, we're not giving ourselves permission to feel good, to laugh, to love, to live. It's just like, I'm not feeling so confident that I can relax and be happy Because it seems like as soon as I start to feel good, something bad happens. As soon as I start to smile a little bit, something comes and smacks it off my face, right? That's the vibe here. I feel like you're realizing that something now is perfectly in line with you, and that it's safe now to open up and let this energy in, that it's not going anywhere. It's not going to be snatched away from you. Okay? So anyway, the Hermit is, I think, done with the healing process of the Four, and is ready for the love, ready for the joy. Now maybe this is romance for some of you. We have reset the emotional system. And now we're just we're in our own zone. We're in our own energy. I feel like you're very comfortable with yourself. I feel like, you have a very intimate relationship with yourself. I feel like you know who you are. You're very comfortable. You're very confident in your energy, in your skin. And I feel that there is this independence, there is this lifestyle that you have. You're not going to change that for just anything or anyone. Only the right one. Let only the right one in. And your intuition, I think, is telling you that the one that's here now, this thing, whatever this expansive energy that's entering your life, is the real deal. You're not going to change your life for just anything. And I don't know how else to emphasize that. We have this independent energy, this confidence, this strength here that's saying you don't need a relationship. You're not going to take a relationship just to have one. No, it's got to be exactly perfectly right, beyond the shadow of a doubt, before you change your ways. Because you like your life. You like the way you're doing it. You like your routines. You like your rituals. You like what you've got set up. Okay? I feel like you've stepped away from the noise. I feel like you really have a connection with your true self, your higher self. Okay? Now, what we have with the Chariot is this feeling of home. And I feel like I love to have the Hermit and the Chariot together, because it just feels like you're so at home in yourself. I feel like you're somebody who's just very comfortable being you. Yeah. And the Charioteer is holding the Holy Grail. And I feel like what this is signifying is that you know how special you are. You know what you have to offer the world, or a relationship, or a job, or a friend, or a pet, or a plant, or whatever, right? You know that you've got something very special inside of you. And it's like you're not just going to give it away to anybody. So you're very selective. You have your armor on most of the time when you're out in public. You are very at home in your own skin. You're very comfortable being who you are. And you're not going to change anything about your life unless every part of you says yes. Kind of need that Lover's card as the mystery card, right? It'd be your superpower card. And I feel that like you don't always want to be so approachable. Does that make sense? I feel like you need to let people earn it, right? That you are maybe a little bit defensive at first, or a little bit just like, I don't know, like people feel a little bit nervous about coming up to you and trying to talk to you, But once they do, and if they resonate with you and you resonate with them, I feel like you're the best friend anyone could ever ask for. But it's not easy for people to get to that point, because you have your defenses up usually. You have just this aura that tends to keep people at bay. And I feel like I feel like that's a good thing. This is fortification. Okay, it's that kind of armor. You're protecting what you know is a very special thing. You, your soul, your authentic self, your holy grail, right? Among other things. So you're not letting just any old person come into your home or get close to you or, get familiar, I guess. Yeah. So you probably have very few friends, but the friends that you do have are of the highest caliber. Because you know that you're special. You know that you have something very special to give the world, to give the right people, to share with the right entity. Maybe this is a work stuff. Maybe this is about you knowing your value, for a new career or something like this. But anyway, I like the sort of home vibe of the Chariot card. Now, we've got our Four of Cups here too. The Four of Cups is, I think, a time in the past where you had to retreat into yourself because there was some kind of a storm. The Four of Cups to me is the storm cellar, okay? The storm shelter, the safe cove. Because if you look at the card, there's some dark clouds. The seas are still a little bit choppy. There's a couple of white caps here. So I feel like this is somebody who has just recently gotten out of a storm. And we're not ready to go back into a storm just yet. I feel like there's healing that's taken place here. I feel like this is in the past. So I feel like you've already been through the storm. You've already pretty much healed from it. And part of that healing process is, your power, your personal power, your confidence, your independence. It's kind of like you learned resilience. You learned how to be strong by yourself. You learned how to be the leader of your own life, where you're not relying on other people. You're not dependent upon anybody. Okay? And I think that this sometimes can linger on too long because we end up getting too comfortable in the storm cellar, too comfortable in the safe harbor. Because right here it's, the boat's not sinking, no holes in the boat, but there's no party on the boat either. This is not meant to be a permanent place. It's not meant to be our hermitage. You're not meant to hide yourself away in here. Okay? This was a period of rest and recuperation or healing. Okay? This was you getting away from something that didn't align with you. This is you in a mode of recalibration. But then, once you're recalibrated, once you're healed, once you're stabilized and fortified, once the boat is repaired, something new needs to enter. Okay? And so I think that this was a period where you started to really understand what kind of life you really wanted to live. This is where you start to recalibrate and make that kind of, maybe it's a more unconscious sort of processing, but you start to get a good idea of what kind of life you really want. What kind of life's going to make you happy. Yeah. Now, the Nine of Wands is strength and resilience and independence. Yeah. This is you with the ability to set standards, enforce boundaries. Okay, and this to me says that you really are connected with yourself, that you have a strong sense of who you are. You are an individual. Individual in the literal sense of the word. You are unable to be divided within yourself. Nobody can tear you apart. Okay, you are indivisible. You are whole. Right? And I think that this kind of wholeness is really the perfect setup for a partnership with somebody else who is also whole, or something else that you feel is equal to you. And I don't know, it's not like you think you're better than everybody else, but you're kind of better than everybody else, So there is that sense of strength and independence that just says, I don't need anybody else. I don't need any. Whoa, you hear that? It's my tea, the air, the bubbles, I guess, releasing pressure. I've heard that before. I think I'm onto something here. But there is this this independence and this confidence that's saying you really don't need anything. And so it's easy for you to say no to everything. Some things, though, I think you're going to want to say yes to. Yeah. Here in this future position, we see a Knight of Swords. Now, it could be a Libra energy that might be coming into your life. That's possible. I feel like the Knight, though, is really, it's kind of an incoming opportunity. I feel like there is either a job thing, or there's a message coming in, or there's a particular person, or whatever this opportunity is. There's some kind of direct communication that's going to require your clarity and are going to require a decision from you. It's something that you need to decide what to say to them, to it. It could be a job offer. It could be someone asking you out on a date. You're going to have to say yes to it, I think. You're going to need to move quickly. It's an opportunity that's just kind of fleeting. It's like it's just flying by, and it's either catch it or it's just going to keep going. Okay, it's just it's passing in front of your field of vision, and you just got to be ready to react to it and grab it. Okay? And this is you, I think, sort of asking yourself, like, am I ready? Is this the thing that I want to commit myself to? Is this something that I should do? Do I need to move toward this thing? You need to speak clearly. You need to act with purpose and be precise. Say what needs to be said. Okay. I think that it's something that you are recognizing as being worthy of your attention, worthy of your interest, worthy of you kind of opening the door and letting it in. Yeah. I want you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Let me know which card here on the path of the dove is resonating with you the most. Okay. Before we talk about the path of the serpent, I want to do an oracle of manifestation. Here we have the pathway beyond. Release what no longer serves you and step into the unknown. I am open to new things. What did we just say about being open? We just said that, you're not going to open your door for just anyone or anything, but you are open. You will open your doors to the right thing. Release what no longer serves you and step into the unknown. Maybe this is like, especially with the Knight of Swords, kind of saying, maybe we've got to just take a risk. Maybe we've got to take a chance on something that, we've been sort of closed off to everything. And maybe it's just, I'll try it. We have a Queen of Wands here. This is magnetic. People are drawn to you. I feel like wherever you go, people are like, that's the person to know. Yeah. You have a kind of self-trust. Feel like you know who you are, you know your strength, and it's like if you want something done right, you do it yourself. The only person that you trust is me, You have a charisma, you have personal power, you have confidence. And you don't chase anything, do you? No, you attract. By being yourself, things are coming to you, and then you're saying, get out of here. But you're not chasing after anybody. You don't chase after people or after jobs or after opportunities. Opportunities come across your field of vision. You either pluck them out of the air or you just let them go. Or you just shoo them away. Yeah. I feel like you step into a room and you have presence. You own your presence, and you have a glow that is, it's inspirational and it's influential. Okay. I feel like you have a particular style about you. I feel like there is, you have an identity. Like people notice you. You don't just blend in like everybody else. Like there's something unique about you. Okay. And people follow your energy. They really do. And this is a very independent card, you know what I mean? It doesn't need anything. And there's kind of that need, right? So you got your 8 of Cups, which is moving on. This is an emotional maturity. This is that departure, that redirection. So if something no longer fulfills you, you walk away from it. Okay? Now, this can be a problem if we're walking away from everything. Because of the Saturn and Pisces type of energy, there's this restrictive energy. Okay? Could be that your doors are shut too tightly. That it's kind of creating a little bit of a barren sort of landscape here, you know? This is a card of closure, and this is in the relationships and in the environment, okay? I feel like there's a new chapter that's really needing to start now. I feel like that you've kind of been in that hermit mode energy for too long. Okay. And it's kind of, it's starting to look a little swampy somewhere. So this might be getting some water flowing. See, this feels like there's no movement. And so without that movement, it's just kind of festering. You know how like you leave your pool for too long, the water starts turning green and you get mosquitoes and stuff, and it's just like, kind of got to clean it out a little bit. We need some water we need the flowing water, okay? Water needs to move, and I think that's very feng shui. I think we need movement. We got to open up the doors, get a breeze going, get some water flowing through your house and things like this, you know? Put a fountain somewhere, I don't know. But I feel like there's a little bit of stagnation. And so I think that the 9 of Cups is absolutely perfect. Because it is movement. It's a 9. It's a verb. It's a function. Whereas the 8 is kind of looping back in on the same things. I feel like you need something new. I feel like you need to open your doors and embrace this thing that's coming by. Whatever it may be. Take a chance on something new. Yeah. The 10 of Wands here is another one of these independent cards, especially in this position. Because the 10 of Wands is saying you're carrying all of the burden for everything on your shoulders. You do everything yourself. Because I feel like you don't trust anybody to do it right. This is you overworked, stressed out. You have this over-responsibility. You're burning yourself out. You've taken on too much. But you won't ask for help. But you won't, delegate. You feel like you have to carry all this weight alone, all this responsibility. And so maybe this is something else that you can try, is to let other people share the burden, redistribute the load a little bit. Ask for help. Let somebody offer help. Or to allow yourself to even just say internally, just to you in private, to say, I think I need some help. You know, I think I'm tired. I think I need somebody to carry something for me. Streamline your systems so that they become easier. Don't feel like you have to burn the candle at both ends. Rest when you need to. Okay. Productivity does not equal your worth. You don't have to do everything all at once. Okay. Drop the things that aren't so important. Give yourself a little bit more space, a little bit more time in your life to have the love, to have that flow, to have the happiness. When your life is a 10 of Wands, there's no room for anything else. We've got to drop one of these so we could bring in some water. We could bring in some fresh, moving joy, fun. Something's trying to arrive into your life, but your doors are shut, and you got the vacuum cleaner going. You can't hear them knocking. Okay? Lighten the load. Releasing some of these burdens are going to help you to kind of feel more of this, the flow of this good, blissful, super abundant energy. And finally, we have the Hierophant. This is wisdom, guidance. This is a spiritual practice. This is learning. This is tradition. You know, I feel like a good thing for you is to remember those kinds of practices that have always helped you, that have always been good for you, like get back to your meditation, your prayer, journaling, reading. Okay? But open yourself up also to something new. I feel like you're open to new things. I feel like this is going to be very important for you. You're keeping those core things with you. I think that you have high expectations for yourself and for other people. You have standards. Okay? And sometimes our standards can be so high that nothing ever meets the criteria and nothing ever gets in. So I'm not saying lower your standards, no. I'm maybe saying lower your expectations. Not everybody can meet your standards. Not everybody, if your standards are way up here and your expectations are way up here, nothing can get over that bar. But you can keep your standards up here. But then you can put your expectations like right here. And then when somebody can get over this bar, you think, there's hope, right? Because what this is, 8 of Cups, is hopeless. I feel like you sort of look at the world and think, nothing's ever going to be good enough. You know? But good things are all around you and they want to come in. Your life wants to be happy, you know? So have your standards, lower your expectations, have a little bit of hope in people, and, you know, go a little easier on people, not too much. Obviously keep your boundaries, keep your independence and all that stuff, but we don't need to dominate. We can stand tall, and we can also be open a little bit. Yeah. Don't chase novelty, but don't reject it either. The Hierophant is tradition. It's conformity. It's like, this is the way I do it. This is the way I always do it. Nothing's going to change. Well, good. Sometimes, though, things need to change. Something major is happening for you. It's breaking news, but you're just like, nope, I like what I like. I'm going to keep doing things the exact same way I've always done them. Sometimes this card can be a little too rigid. This is roots. This is, tradition. This is your practice. This is your rituals and your routines. Yes, good. But just be open to how we might add in something new that's going to brighten up the day a little bit, Otherwise, this becomes dogmatic. It becomes too fixed and too rigid, and nothing can get in. Nothing can get over the bar. And life stagnates. Let's look at the mystery card. I want another card of happiness. You know what I want is a 3 of Cups. That's what I want. Or maybe a 6. I think a 3 would be cool. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's take a look. The Star. The Star is good because the Star is like fresh energy coming in from above. It's like a spiritual renewal. It's healing, but it's also connection, reconnection. This is emotional softening, spiritual guidance. Okay? You're reconnecting with other people. You're having a little, you know what this is? This is a little bit of hope restored. This is my hope's draining. Every time I meet somebody, I'm just disappointed, and I'm losing all hope in humanity, losing all faith in people. This is a little bit of that faith coming back. I feel like somebody's entering your life that's going to, in a small way, restore your faith in the human race. You know, as cliche as that sounds. But the Eight of Cups here is every relationship that you look at, it seems like, gosh, this is just, the world's getting worse. I don't even want any friends. I don't want family. I don't want any relationships at all because they're all disappointing, right? Something's happening in your life that's going to restore your faith. Okay. Anyway, let's do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link in the corner. There is a link down below. New readings for Gemini, Wednesdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.